Hello, I'm Luke Nella and welcome to Best Replays of the Week. In this episode we have some armoured fist action, an autoloader cutting enemies like wheat, and an unexpected Top Gun. Just so you know, these replays were found on display in the bottom of a locked filing cabinet stuck in a disused lavatory with a sign on the door saying, "Beware of the leopard." So, get up from in front of that bulldozer, come down the pub for some pints, and bring your towel with you. Let's begin with an armoured fist game from the EU servers, where Tutti and 6 hearty clanmates battle for bragging rights to the Siegfried line. Tutti drives an IS-3, the tank which forms the backbone of the Finn clan's force. The opposing team has a more varied mix of machinery. Tutti rushes the first shot, but lands the next 2 and scores a kill for the team. Things start going wrong though, and before long it's starting to look like a crushing defeat. But when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Tutti wins the duel and punches a hole into the Carnarvon for good measure. The last ally goes down, leaving Tutti with 3 tanks to deal with. Our hero reverses into cover, tagging the British heavy a second time on the way. They do not follow, and instead attempt to capture. Tutti circles around, peeks out of cover, and assassinates one of the Tigers. The second Tiger is in cover, and the 2 heavies bounce shots off each other's turrets. The opponent pulls back behind the burning hulk of the first Tiger. But as it turns its turret, there's a tiny opening. One sniper shot later, the enemies are down to 1. The Carnarvon is coming. Its turret rises into view and boom! The game is over. A nice quick game there to get us going. The more grim things got, the harder Tutti tried to save the day. Well played, Fox Girl! Continuing on the EU servers, we have a Top Gun game, but with a machine I never expected to see on the show. The Churchill gun carrier can be very challenging to play, so maybe that's why Young is making that face. The battle is an encounter on Moravanka, and the gun carrier is in the middle of the pack. Young heads east, entertaining the other players with an anecdote along the way. Enemies have been spotted. Young turns towards them, but gets pounced upon by a Luchs. It makes the mistake of turning back and becomes the first kill of the match. This OI deserves some attention. The gun carrier has good gun depression, so Young can peek-a-boom over the little hill. There's always time to harass a Tiger before finishing off a kill. A Skoda T24 bolts like a startled rabbit after the first shot, but it doesn't get away. The Tiger from earlier receives more punishment, but an ally claims the kill. Young creeps towards the next victim and is once again ambushed by a rodent. The China doesn't make use of its mobility advantage and becomes kill number 4. The KV-85 bounces a shot and the T-67 takes its place as the 5th kill. Not to worry though, the KV follows it to the garage soon after. Picking off the damaged Hellcat is easy enough, and then it's time to go sort out the capture. The game is 3 against 3, and Young is at 7 kills. A second OI comes into view. The gun carrier can damage it well enough, but trading shots is a bad idea, as we can see. Luckily there's no follow-up shot, and Young can slip away unkilled. The distant SU-152 is a difficult target, but repeated attempts gets it down to 3 hit points. The OI is now killable if Young can get to it without risking a shot. The opponent backs up, exposing a flat surface, and gets blown up. That's 8 kills and all allies are dead. Can this unlikely murder machine carry the game all the way? The capture bar is getting uncomfortably long, and there are 2 opponents to deal with. Which one first? Young turns towards the 82. They both fire and blow up in a double kill. Oh no! Another heartbreak ending this season, this time for an unexpected kill streak. Just take a look at those numbers. 5k damage is impressive with any tier 6 machine, but with this turretless crawler, it's downright amazing. Now let's move over to the Asian server for a Defender game featuring Lichipi in a tough-as-nails KV3. The match is a Tier 7 assault on Siegfried Line. The Defender heads north and meets the attacking force at the outskirts of the city. The jumbo stick armor is not a problem for the KV. The 122mm shells blast through every opponent and soon claim the first kill of the match. As this tank blows up, our defender realizes the flank is clear. Time to head back into town, helping to dispose of an object 416 along the way. Lichipi beats up an Oni and then a T-29, with teammates securing each kill. The base is getting captured though, and those allies are starting to run out. The IS-2 gives back as good as it gets, and it seems to have a lot of friends. The Defender trusts in the KV's armor and pushes through towards the capture zone. So close and yet so far. The track comes off at a bad time, but luckily their platoon mate comes through with a reset. Back on the move, and with a lucky hit on the Comet for good measure. The platoon mate gets a few last hits on the Kappa before dying, and leaving Lichipi alone against 5. Okay, let's do this. 4 of the 5 are here, but the T-150 has clearly bailed from the match. Lichipi finishes off the Comet and struggles to draw a bead on the AMX. The KV-3 is a tough machine, but it's starting to run out of undamaged components. The AMX is down, and the Su-100Y hilariously finishes off its AFK teammates. This is bad. The artillery strike turns our defender into a sitting duck, and the enemy can't miss at this range. Somehow the TD finds a way to mess up its shot, and Lichipi turns it into scrap. The RT is still on the ball, however, this time lighting the tank on fire. It would be good to get going now. Really good. You guys? The track is repaired at the last possible moment, and the artillery strike misses by meters. The artillery tries its luck a few more times, but Lichipi is long gone. The KV is mostly held together with duct tape at this point, and the defender needs to avoid any further artillery strikes. Lichipi sets up an ambush and waits. And then waits some more. When the SVG does appear, it's from the other side of the capture circle. The FV fires on the move and misses. Lichipi returns fire, missing as well. The FV's second attempt goes high, and it doesn't get a third go. Victory for the defender. Well done, Lichipi. Sometimes we need luck as well as skill, but the most important thing is to keep fighting no matter the odds. Now let's go back to the EU region for a 3-player Brothers-in-Arms game on Fjords. The players are Fredstro driving an IS-5, Darkness 03 in an AMX Chasseur de Chars, and Gruzing 93 in a T-34. The trio make up a defensible position in the middle of the map and give a warm welcome to any opponents who come into view. The first kill goes to Fredstro, who apparently doesn't need to see you to kill you. Gruzen pushes ahead to get eyes on the enemy, while Fredstro repeats the blind fire trick on a Panta Axe. Gruzen works to dismantle a Type 59, while Darkness dashes forwards and takes out a Kanava. Fredstro drives around the mountain to guard the base and gets charged by a WZ-131. A track and hit ends the flanking attempt, but as it retreats, 2 more opponents come rolling in. Gruzen joins the fray, and so does an enemy IS-3. The T-34 scores its second kill, evening out the odds a bit. The WZ-111 lands a hit on Gruzen before the 2 platoon mates dismantle it together. The Chinese scout manages to get away, while the platoon's last ally dies in the distance. The game is 3 against 9, and the allies didn't manage a single kill. Fredstro heads back to the northern side, leaving Gruzen alone to hold the south. Falling trees warn of approaching enemies, and an E-75 rolls into view. Fredstro is ready, and puts a heat round through its lower glacis. Gruzen holds the southern approach, cutting down an AMX 1375, while Darkness takes out its bigger brother. Fredstro pushes out to challenge a Centurion 7-1 and a T-34-100, with Darkness providing fire support. As an enemy goes down, a T-20 joins the battle. It's starting to look bad for the IS-5, but Darkness uses the speed of the CDC to dash forward and turn the tide. The game is finally even, but Gruzin is in trouble. The remaining enemies are all in the south, with a Jagdtiger as the tip of the spear. Darkness races in to help, but doesn't get there in time. The platoon have to be very careful now, as they are low on hit points and the CDC has no armor. Fredsterer punches a hole in the SU-152 as Darkness works to stay alive and keep the enemies spotted. The Jagdtiger comes bulldozing through the house and Darkness has to run for it. Fredsterer takes the opportunity to end the SU-152 and the game is 2 versus 2. Darkness passes on the scout and turns around to engage the Jagdtiger. The big TD tries to push through another house, but this one was built to last. It starts turning around to deal with the CDC instead, but this allows the IS-5 to join in. One more double tap and the game is over. 15 kills for the platoon. Between the 3 of them, they wiped out the entire enemy team. This rare achievement makes them our Brothers in Arms of the Week. Congratulations! We'll wrap up the episode with a crucial contribution from the EU region, as EXE29 takes an AMX-50B onto the mountain pass. The match is only 4 tier 10s and more than half a tier 8. This is definitely EXE29's game to carry, so let's see how it plays out. There's nobody to ambush from E2, so the AMX joins the main push down south. EXE29 tires of caution and goes on the attack. The AMX takes a hit going in, but the enemy heavy gets clipped down in seconds. The American rival is crossing the bridge, and EXE29 takes the opportunity to put a few shells into him. Rather than reload, the AMX goes forward and pumps the remaining shells into the convoy. EXE29 focuses like a Zen warrior and explodes into action. A single drum of shells produces 4 kills in an amazingly rapid sequence. Even with that kill spree, the team is getting more and more behind. EXE29 fires a shell at a speeding SP-1C and uses the other 3 to clip down a T-30. It's 2 against 6 now, and there are enemies in the capture zone. As the AMX races against the capture bar, the last ally dies in a decap attempt. The bar hits 100, but EXE29 blows up a kappa before the exclamation mark appears. The second opponent can just blink in confusion before joining its friend in the scrapyard. Okay, 1 against 4, with 3 of them being artillery. EXE drives back south and makes short work of one of them. The capture alarm goes off again, and it's time to drive back to the base once more. Taking out a T-28 prototype isn't much of a challenge, but the hit point loss will make arty hunting more dangerous. A 2-minute warning goes off. Is there enough left to hunt down the SPGs? EXE29 is going in with HE loaded. 1 minute, this is it. The AMX drives straight up the ramp and is rewarded with a 1-hit kill. Where's the second one though? The clock is ticking. As it happens, the last SPG comes into view, looking a little unprepared. EXE29 fires and misses, as the opponent lines up a shot. Both fire at the same time, but the opponent's shell goes high and wide. Victory, and with 24 seconds to spare. Okay, top tier autoloader and all that, but 12 kills is pretty impressive. Add in that last second base defense, and this is definitely the crucial contribution of the week. Great work, EXE29. So that's the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything. But 15 kills in a platoon. Literally, that has never happened for me. I have 2 options. Get good or get better platoon mates. Okay, maybe only one option. I'm Luke Nella, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Best replays of the week, 42. Take 1. Action. Lex. Lex? No, that's wrong. Lux. Lux. Probably close enough. Like the body spray. Panta 88.